Hi, everyone. For this week's devotional, actually for the next few weeks, we're going to be looking at Isaiah chapter 6. Today I want to look at the first four verses. I'll read them now. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above him stood the seraphim. Each had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, and with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. And one called to another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts, and the whole earth is full of his glory. And the foundation of the threshold shook at the voice of him who called, and the house was filled with smoke. It's a really famous vision from Isaiah of the throne room of God. It's amazing to me because it really gives us the sense of the glory and majesty of God. It's like it's so great that Isaiah is careful not to describe God himself. He describes around the scene. He tells us about the throne God is sitting on, the robe that fills the temple, and there's sort of a majestic feel there. And then he tells us of God's servants, these seraphim, burning ones is what that literally means. And they're amazing with 6 wings, 2 covering their eyes, 2 their feet, and 2 flying. It gives us a sense of the sacredness of the presence of God. And they are powerful. In fact, as they call out to each other in worship, the whole temple is shaking. These are powerful beings, but they're only servants of God, who is far more powerful. And they say of him, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. What power there. Now, not only is he the Lord of hosts or the Lord of angelic armies, he's also called holy, holy, holy. Why say it 3 times? Well, I think something more than just the Trinity is going on here. In the Hebrew language, if you want to describe something as especially a particular adjective, you can say it twice. Holy, holy. And that would mean that God is the holiest of all, holy as you can get. But Isaiah is saying, no, no, no. The bounds of the Hebrew language, grammar can't even contain how holy this God is. He is holy, holy, holy. Biblical scholar J. Alec Motier calls this a super superlative. It's like holiness that's unthinkable to us, holiness at a whole new level, unspeakably holy is this God. And holiness speaks to us of his absolute moral purity. There is not even a shadow of sin in God. He's completely good and completely separate from the rest of us. So different in his holiness. And the whole earth is full of his glory. The creator God's, his glory can be seen in all of the majesty, the brilliance, the intricacy, the vastness of his creation. And it's made for his glory too. And Isaiah sees this incredible scene of the power of God as a king at the time of the dying of a king. King Uzziah's death happens the year this happens. He didn't need to date it that way. He could have said King Uzziah's 52nd year of his reign. It was the 52nd year was his last year. But he wanted to date it to the death of Uzziah. It was probably a time of a little bit of political concern and turmoil. I'm not saying here that Uzziah was a good king. He wasn't really that good. He wasn't really bad either, but he wasn't great. But it was a time of turmoil, a time of uncertainty when a king passed. And here, in the midst of that uncertainty, Isaiah is given a vision of a king whose reign will never end, a king whose rule is uninterrupted, unimpeachable, untouchable, all powerful. And that's his confidence. And Isaiah is beginning a prophetic ministry that's going to have its ups and downs, going to have its troubles. And yet, in the midst of everything that's going to happen, and sometimes people not listening, Isaiah is given that confidence of a king enthroned on high in absolute majesty and holiness. And that's been a comfort to me this week because I've been, the pandemic's hard and it's been bothering me. This week I felt so cooped up. It's been getting to me a little bit. And I've been finding some comfort in the knowledge that my king reigns, even if I don't get it all the time, even if this world seems crazy right now. God reigns on high in untouchable holiness and power. And that can be a great comfort to you and to me. And can it also, I pray, be a food for worship? Well, just think on that. Think about his majesty. Think about his holiness. Think about his power. And let it lead us to worship him. God bless you this week.